everybody. This is Amazing Fantasy Football. I am Josh, and over there is the bow to my Dora.
Christopher.
Yes, that is our dogs. The name of our dogs. Anyways, my little monster is off chewing on a bone of some sort. How you doing tonight, Chris?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a solid week. Had some family visiting. Had some good times with the kids and the extended family, I guess you would say. The in-laws and whatnot.
Extended.
Yeah, I went to a what do they call it? Blackberry Farm, I think they call it around here. So it's whatever. It's a nice park farm thing. It's fun. It was fun. Other than that, just trying to get some stuff done around the house.
God, I'm so glad I'm not married.
Right. What about? How are you doing, Josh? Mr. Not married.
I am doing okay. I have been busy with work, and after tomorrow, I am done with training for like 3 weeks. Oh boy, I've trained like 5 people in the last 4 weeks, or 4 people in the last 3 weeks. It's been a whirlwind, man. Anyways, that's enough of my real job.
But we are here tonight.
We are here to talk about some fantasy football. I don't know why I said it about like that, but I did. So in everyone's face, I guess.
It happened.
It did. I was trying to stop me. You can't go back in time, and if you can, why would you do that? Why would you go back in time for that?
Not for that. For plenty of other things, but no, not for that.
Chris, I believe you have some news for us.
Yes, I do.
I had a question, and then it went right out of my head. I was like, there it goes.
I thought it was an uncomfortable pause for dramatic effect or something.
No, I watched the question leave my head. I was like, there.
Well, let's get through the news because we want to hopefully leave a room for a mock and keep the show short and concise. I'm gonna get some, I guess you could call it NFL housekeeping out of the way. Not the most salient fantasy news, depending on how you look at it. Let me continue. Where's the initial one? Judge Sue L. Robinson has issued a ruling that the Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson should be suspended 6 games for violating the NFL's personal conduct policy. So he got 6 games, but the NFL is expected to pursue a significant increase in punishment of Deshaun Watson. Some league sources are reporting the full season. We'll see. Maybe they get 10, maybe they get 12, and at the end of the day, onward and upward. Oh, go ahead.
To interrupt here, Deshaun Watson doesn't have to pay any fines or give up any pay, and that was also another thing that the NFL was trying to pursue as well in their
Good call. Yep.
Their, what do you want to call it? Their rebuttal? Their
appeal.
Thank you.
Yeah, I couldn't remember earlier off air. Okay. I could not remember it.
Besides this POS aside, that would be Deshaun Watson. So he's at least not playing for 6 games. How does that affect Amari Cooper and Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt with presumably Jacoby Brissett as their quarterback for the first 6 games? What do you think, man?
I think the clear or the most concerning one is Chubb. I think he's the one you're paying the most for. I think
so?
Yeah. I don't know where Amari's going. Maybe in the 5th, 6th. He's the second most significant, I suppose. I'm just saying he's immediately the one that I go to in terms of I really like the player, like the talent. I formerly liked the situation, and now the situation has become awful. At least for 6 games, I guess you could say.
Here's my take.
Mm-hmm.
If memory serves correct, Marlon Mack was a RB2. This is what Marlon Mack we're talking about with the Colts, with Jacoby Brissett as his quarterback. If memory serves correct.
That's fair.
So, and the Browns have a pretty decent offensive line, good enough to probably create holes for Chubb and Hunt and all of that. So Chubb's probably going to get bumped down, and I think you're going to maybe get him at a discount. Having said all that, Chris, we talked about this real briefly beforehand. I don't know if I can stomach to really support any Browns players or the Cleveland Browns as a professional franchise whatsoever because of all this. The more I think about this entire situation, the more I don't want to have anything to do with the Cleveland Browns. That aside, it's a fantasy show. I think that if you're getting Nick Chubb in the 2nd round, I think you should jump for joy.
Yeah. Well, it's not the player's fault, so.
It's not Nick Chubb's fault? No. It's not Kareem Hunt's fault. No, it's not Amari Cooper's fault. No. Should you stay away from Deshaun if you are have any sort of social justice, SJW kind of blood within you? Stay the hell away from Deshaun Watson. So that's having said all that, I'm still in on.
I guess I didn't mention Watson himself. I'm more or less out on him because of A, the suspensions, B, don't particularly like the guy, and C, single quarterback leagues, I can find somebody else. You know what I mean? Type of thing.
By week 3, Deshaun Watson will be sitting on the waiver wire, and if you don't care about it, if you're strictly all about the fantasy football and don't care about what he does in his personal life or what has happened in his personal life, then yeah, you can probably pick him up off the waiver wire in week 3, or you can trade for him dirt cheap for someone who's probably
because you can't stash him on your IR, nor should you be able to.
Yeah, exactly.
Last bit of more kind of NFL, whatever front office news, whatever you want to call it, boring news. The Dolphins will forfeit a first-round selection in the 2023 draft and a third-round selection in the 2024 draft. And owner Stephen Ross is suspended through October 17th after league investigation. This was for the collusion, you call it? No, not collusion.
Interference, they called it.
Interference, courting or whatever. I was surprised to learn that it happened back in 2019 with Brady and the Dolphins.
Yeah, because the Dolphins they came out and said that they were like,
but everybody was just
they were knee deep in the whole mix for Brady and everything, and trying to drive up the value of his contract and all that thing, if memory serves correct.
Right.
Apparently they weren't, and yada yada, and the Dolphins got caught, and other teams have done this in the past. Whatever.
Yeah, the guys I like to listen to about real NFL news, whom opinions I trust, said basically just that, Josh. They were like, we're not saying it's okay. We're just saying, hey, just keep in mind this happens all the time. On to the kind of more, I guess you could say, training camp injury and fantasy related news. Tim Patrick, MRI confirmed that the Broncos standout wide receiver had a season-ending ACL injury.
Bummer.
I know that hurts Josh pretty deep there. I actually had to check your dynasty roster. I was like, oh no, he doesn't have him. He just really likes the player.
Late round value, dude, for Russell Wilson as a quarterback, QB3 or wide receiver 3 in the offense.
Well, there's been a lot of. I feel like Judy's been falling. I think there's a lot of pushback against Judy.
I think he's still
a clear guy if you want to go there. As it relates to more Broncos news of pass catchers, KJ Hamler activated off the PUP list, so that's good news there. Steelers and Deontay Johnson reached an agreement on a 2-year deal that averages $18.355 million a year. So it's a nice little size for the team to swallow. I think it was only, what did I just say, 2 years? 2 years.
Gross.
I think he's a great player, honestly. I think he's vastly underrated. And he's dropped the ball some, and apparently Josh
a lot
damns you to hell if you drop the ball. I think he'll be fine.
That's fine. I mean, I don't know. The one thing I don't like about Deontay Johnson still, and I think that actually really makes me want to not touch him whatsoever, is the fact that they're talking about Mitch Trubisky being his quarterback.
I wasn't, but now I am gonna pause on this bit of news for a minute. I think it's probably more important. I think we all knew what Deontay was going to be coming into 2023 target monster. It's going to have some. Sorry, 2022. Gonna have some dropsies. One might infer that he had some pretty inferior quarterback play the last couple of years. However, you could also infer that Trubisky and Pickett are not an upgrade. But I think this says something about what they have in their quarterback stable. I think it either says hey, we believe in the future of Pickett more than maybe we thought, or maybe Trubisky, and we're willing to sew up top 15 at the position talent. So yeah. Onward and upward.
I like your optimism. Let's put it that way.
Marquise Brown was arrested for criminal speeding. He was at practice today. That's important to mention.
Was that in Arizona?
The actual crime, I assume so.
Just as someone who used to live in Phoenix, if you were going more than 15 miles an hour over the speed limit, they will arrest you on the spot. So
it's
which is funny considering that in Phoenix, if you want to drive on the freeway, you have to go at least 20 miles an hour over the speed limit to keep up with traffic. They're easily going 95 on the freeway. No exaggeration whatsoever.
I understand your reference. Okay. They go pretty fast in Texas. The speed limits on the interstates are very high in Texas. I assume in Arizona you've got a lot of kind of wide open road because desert. I don't know. So that's interesting. So what you're saying is the fact that he's going to be in some trouble, perhaps. But again, he was at practice today. Mm-hmm. Onward, tight end Irv Smith for the Vikings suffered a thumb injury yesterday and had surgery today. Coach of Kevin O'Connell told reporters he has not been ruled out for the opener as of yet. So a little concern there.
Hey, Chris, I also haven't been ruled out for the opener.
What's that?
I also haven't been ruled out for the opener.
Considering you're not on an NFL roster, yes, sir, you have.
That's what makes it true.
A wide receiver, Van Jefferson, which is what his last name. No, that's his full name, isn't it? His first name is Van, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, great.
I think it's actually Vincent.
Vincent?
No, I just made that up.
I had this flashback of an old Denver player. I'm like Vance Johnson, I think it was. There was a J in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was a receiver for the Broncos. Anyway, a wide receiver Van Jefferson is scheduled to undergo knee surgery tomorrow with a timetable to return in a few weeks. Team is unaware of his Week 1 availability.
Want to take a stab at Van Jefferson's real name?
Vandelay.
Good guess.
Oh, yeah.
It's
good enough.
Van Chi LaShawn Jefferson Jr.
Woo! All right.
Vanchii.
Love it.
Yeah, I've never seen that name before.
A little bit more receiver news.
Original.
A little bit more hurt receiver news. Detroit Lions Quintez Cephas was helped off the practice field today with an apparent leg injury. I looked, couldn't find much else right now.
Did you also look to see who cared and you couldn't find anyone?
No, I didn't look that hard. Probably hard. I probably look harder than I should have already. Let's put it that way. A little more Lions news. What the heck? I feel like there's a lot of Lions in the news. Lions announced they signed free agent running back Justin Jackson. Me and Josh talked a little bit about this off air. It's significant for depth in the real NFL, and it's significant for fantasy in terms of, hey, Swift has been hurt. That's about the end of that discussion. Cowboy, I should have put the receiver with the other receivers. Oops. Cowboys wide receiver James Washington fractured his right foot. He is expected to be out 6 to 10 weeks. Similar injury to what a teammate of his, DeMarcus Lawrence, suffered last year, and he missed 10 games. So, a guy that pushes off his foot. Not a receiver, but a defensive end. That is all the news I've got.
That's interesting that a defensive end missed 10 weeks, whereas a wide receiver, I can't see that a wide receiver would miss less
coming
time
back sooner. Well, smaller guy. How many weeks could that make a difference, though? Honestly, 4 days, an entire week, maybe he comes back in 9 weeks. I don't know when their bye is. Real quick before we move on to our diamonds in the rough at the running back position, I would quickly say it's significant in that I don't know. They've been mentioning Will Fuller on Cowboys beat, if you will.
I've been seeing Will Fuller going to every team, so I don't
other
care.
Names. What's the Rodgers that used to be in Green Bay? Amari?
No, he's still in Green Bay.
Maybe it was somebody else then. It's not that super important, but we're trying to figure out who's going to play the second or third fiddle at the position. My take is, as a highly invested dynasty manager of a couple pieces of Dallas and a fan.
A couple?
Josh, let me finish. is the I do for and I again this is gonna sound homer and also for my dynasty team, but I do think Pollard and more importantly Schultz is kind of going to soak up a lot of those targets early in the season.
Do they still have that other tight end?
Jarwin? No, Jarwin went to I don't remember, man. I want to say Green Bay or Vegas. I don't remember.
I thought he went somewhere east.
Could be.
Way to really keep in touch with your players there, Mr. Cowboys fan.
Busy man.
All right, Chris, we're here to talk about some diamonds in the rough. at the running back position. Last week we did quarterbacks. We shared one quarterback. Will we share a running back? Let's find out. I have no idea who you picked other than Abraham Lincoln. I didn't even know that Abraham Lincoln was resurrected and played in the NFL.
He's a little tall for the position, even though he's from the...
Yeah, well, I said that about Cordell Patterson, too. So,
yeah.
Anyways, I'm going to get it started here, Chris. And just to start off, I wanted to find guys like quarterbacks that are going in the 10th round or later. So this made it a little hard, but I was also going for guys that could either were going to be usable in week 1 or within the first couple 2-3 weeks. I think that there's a case you could start any of these guys in a 3 or in a 12-man league. So, having said that, my first guy.
Could I interject real quick?
Yes, you can do whatever you want, Chris.
So in a free country, in a manner of speaking, would you say you kind of took a similar approach that you took with the QBs, except that you're not necessarily only banking on like a hot start in week 1. What you're kind of getting at is a hot start in fantasy in general is only very, very much beneficial to you as a fantasy manager. And if you can get a hot asset that, that we're going to be talking about tonight at a discount, then maybe you've got a trade piece. Maybe you've got more depth at a very important position.
Yeah, so, I didn't want to go for guys that were, well, this is like handcuffs. Or guys that were like, well, if this guy gets injured, a couple of my guys are, if this guy gets injured, he's going to be great.
Yeah.
But
I've got my
but he's not.
But
they're going to potentially have standalone value too.
In fact, you can make the argument all of my guys are based on injury. But I wanted to stay away from that because I wanted guys. That's the point of the diamonds in the rough. Guys that are either going to be valuable in week 1 or they could potentially pop off in week 1, but they're already on your team. Because you drafted them really late and you don't have to go and spend a bunch of fab getting them, especially because they're running back. So you're going to have to spend up for them, Having said that, first guy, Nyheim Hines. Yes, I'm a Colts fan. Yes, I've talked about Nyheim Hines already in this preseason, but I'm going to beat this drum again. You have to have some belief in Nyheim Hines here. Belief. And that's exactly what I have in him. He is currently going as a RB44 off the board. Or 122nd overall, 122nd. My notes are very unclear. That's approximately the 1002. What's up? I said okay.
You have to believe that he's going to replicate his 2018 and 2020 seasons, and both those years. He was targeted over 75 times and had exactly 63 receptions in those years. That's something you can believe in. Here's something else you can believe in. Hines' health. He's played in at least 16 games in every single season of an NFL career. That's 4 years. I like that. This guy has been durable. Yes, he hasn't had a crap ton of usage, but he has gotten usage. And because of the... Here's the problem with Nyheim Hines. He's not much of an in-between-the-tackles kind of guy because he's a smaller back, but he's more of a pass catcher. Because of this, we should probably look at the Colts' newest old quarterback, and that is Matt Ryan.
Sorry, that struck my funny.
Yep. Last year, Matt Ryan targeted his running backs 26.1% of the time per fantasydata.com. Mm-hmm. That was the most out of all NFL quarterbacks. That is 2.2 percentage points more than the number 2 guy, who happens to be Sam Darnold, in case you were wondering, Chris. There's some preseason talk of wanting to get Hines more involved in the passing game, and I believe that for 2 different reasons. A, the Colts receiving weapons aren't exactly the Randy Moss, Chris Carter duo. Yeah, that's showing my age a little bit, but whatever. And B, as amazing as JT was last year, he had 372 touches. I don't think the Colts want to give him that many touches this year if they don't have to. That's a lot for a modern NFL runner. I mean, I think Derrick Henry one year had like 460-something, if memory serves correct. But, yeah, they don't want... Jonathan Taylor also has a lot of tread on his tires from college as well. So I don't know if they want to really run Taylor into the ground, especially if they're looking at a deep playoff run. Or a playoff run of any sort. Mm-hmm. So because of all that, Nyheim Hines, man, even if there is a minor JT injury, heaven forbid, that keeps him sidelined for a week or two, that should probably jump Nyheim Hines' value by at least 50%. So I'm thinking Nyheim Hines has some value. It's a little rich for me. I'd like to get him a little bit later, but as the RB44 off the board, like he's probably like your RB5 at best, you know? So why not, man? A lot of these guys are going to be why nots, but like, why not Nyheim Hines? Easily, especially in like a 12 or even an even bigger league, dude, he might even make your starting roster in that case.
Well,
especially if you went like...
And any form of PPR obviously is.
Yeah. Sorry, that does come with that caveat. But we always go by half PPR scoring. So
I think it was already implied, but I wanted to mention it.
Thank you. What do you think about Nyheim Hines? Does that kind of pique your interest in him a little bit?
I've loved the player. I think if you're going to sign up for that, you have to be on the side of things that it doesn't necessarily mean a decrease in Jonathan Taylor's eliteness. I think he's still everything you're paying up for in the beginning of your draft. Jonathan Taylor is, but if Matt Ryan can finish his career strongly, we're cooking with oil. You know what I mean? Like
that's a word.
What's that? Strongly.
That's a word. Strongly.
It is. It's whatever. I feel attacked. I mean, anyway, I got my first guy, should I say? And I'll preface it kind of like Josh did in saying that I took a different approach again this week. I don't necessarily think that the Diamonds in the Rough is a hot start type of thing. Although, as I mentioned a moment ago, getting a hot start in fantasy is vastly important. So I absolutely love the approach Josh is taking. Mine, again, is more of a deep dive into ADP, bargain basement hunting, last pick of your draft, first couple of weeks waiver wire pickup. Yes, a little bit of predatory on injury proneness, if you will, but also situation and offenses, as is always important. So my first guy is Abram Smith with the New Orleans Saints. There's certain takes in fantasy that I feel like I warm up to more as the off season and especially the preseason moves along, and I keep thinking there's nowhere to go up for New Orleans offense. The likes of Jameis Winston, Michael Thomas, whom I still am very negative on, but again, some of the positivities is growing for me. Now let's address the elephant in the room here with Alvin Kamara. Obviously the legal troubles.
Are you calling Alvin Kamara fat?
No, not at all. Not at all. Obviously the legal troubles are looming in a manner of speaking. I will put this out there. I'm not a lawyer. Lately, the vibe is we're not going to see a suspension this season. Hey, that could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm not saying it's predicated on this. I think this guy could maybe have, he'd have to steal the job, the number 2 job, if Kamara was not to be suspended. But Kamara will be 28 next season. He has a $16 million cap hit next season and a $19 million in dead money. So just from a dynasty's perspective, they're looking a little bit of a long game. The guys in the backfield, I guess you could say in front and also behind Mr. Abram Smith is Mark Ingram, 32 years old. Tony Jones, I have seen nothing from him. Dwayne Washington, assuming it's the same Dwayne Washington, is a uber receiving back. In fact, I think I saw a blurb said he's been there 4 years and he has 47 carries. So he's not a threat to take it from Abram Smith on the ground, at least. And then Divine Zigbo. Again, more, quote unquote, no names, not to be.
Even Divine Zigbo was kind of more of a pass catching back, if memory serves correct.
I also thought he was bigger. I thought he was more like a fullback, but
I may really?
Be wrong. I could be wrong.
Keep talking. I'll look at that up.
Hey, big guys can catch too.
No, they can't, Chris.
Yeah. So even if Mark Ingram is the second guy behind Kamara, at 32 years old, I just don't think he could tote the load for a long stretch. I consider 6 games a pretty long stretch in the NFL at the running back position, if in fact that's what Kamara gets, if in fact a suspension happens. Again, this is a little bit predicated on his talent, thinking that he should probably be the number 2. They did get him, I guess, free and clear as an undrafted free agent. I don't have the numbers here, but I included it in my analysis at another show we did around maybe rookie draft time for Dynasty, maybe July or June. Anyway, he was given unprecedented guaranteed money for a undrafted free agent. Like there's a certain range you can do, and all the folks have fallen on the lower end of middle to lower end of the range, and he was very much high. I don't have the number. Forget.
Are we talking about Divine Ezigbo or
Abram Smith?
Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, just God bless America.
I don't remember his name.
His
sorry,
name is Abram Smith.
Okay, sorry.
So, and his pass blocking has been a highlight so far in camp. He's a bigger back at 5'11", 221. He had over 1,600 rushing yards in 2021 for Baylor with a 6.2 average. He has a defensive-minded head coach, and Abram Smith used to play linebacker. He also used to play running back, so he played some linebacker for Baylor.
Wait. We're gonna go back and revisit that statement.
As the story goes,
also used to be a running back.
As the story goes, he was a running back in high school. He was a running back for Baylor when he first started. However, buried on the depth chart, freshman.
So, are you recommending a guy who isn't currently running back?
No, he is a running back. He is a running back, and he just played running back really well for Baylor. Here are some strengths from his draft profile on NFL.com. Above average feel for cutback timing on inside zone. He's a zone predicated guy. He's a super great fit for zone, not necessarily the other stuff. Understands how to press the line and set up blocks. Runs with linebackers with a linebacker's mentality to finish. Plays the role of hammer into contact. Size and toughness to work with. Impacts protection and proved his value as a special teamer. Special teamer could keep him on the roster as an undrafted free agent. But again, remember, undrafted free agent that has like the highest guaranteed money ever, or something crazy like that. So that's my spiel about Abram Smith. I think he's got a lot to offer at the position. I think there's some question marks in front of him on the depth chart, and I don't think there's a whole lot behind him on the depth chart. I think he could surprise some folks.
Okay. Speaking of guys in depth charts, this is one of my guys that I think has some hurdle or two to climb over. Do you climb over a hurdle? Jump over a hurdle?
You do jump.
And that is, but it's a rookie that I really liked, and we talked about him right after the draft. I believe.
A hurdle can be just an obstacle that you have to overcome. Also, it doesn't literally have to be a hurdle on a track.
Yes, clear. It does, Chris.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
That might be an obstacle. It might be an obstacle. Climb an obstacle.
Yes.
Like in the Army with the big wooden stuff. Okay, continue your astute analysis, sir. Sorry.
I'm not going to go with the astute part, but I will continue with my analysis. I never claimed my analysis would be astute or even analysis.
How dare I speak out of turn?
It will just be lists.
Oh,
anyways, my second guy is Tyler Algier.
Nice. I thought one of us should go for him. Yep.
Currently RB 53 or 144th, or 12.12 overall. So the very end of the 12th round. Algiers, I really hope I'm saying his name right. He's a powerhouse back, and in his final year at BYU, as I'm calling him, Ty-All. You're going to be really sick of my nicknames by the end of this episode. By the way, Ty-All had 1,143 yards after contact in his last year. That was second most in all of college football. He had 4.2 yards after contact per attempt. That was 10th most.
Tiger? Why not Tiger?
No, Kyle. 76 forced missed tackles. That was 6th most. All those stats are per PFF.com. Those are great numbers. Ty-All is a great between the tackles runner that the Falcons have been sorely missing for quite a while. As good as Cordell Patterson was last year, we all know that he broke down towards the end of the season. He kind of hit a wall. I mean, he was 30 years old last year. He's now 31. Patterson was able to catch lightning in a bottle last year, but only for part of the season. It wasn't a full season. I don't know if he, at 31, he can really duplicate that twice, and even part of a season this coming year. The other reason why I believe in Ty-All is that Damian Williams, the guy who's supposedly in front of him, cannot be better than him. I mean, Damian Williams, I liked him in Chicago, and he could not get past the rookie Khalil Herbert. Which Khalil Herbert was pretty good last year for a rookie coming in and kind of filling in for David Montgomery here and there. Mm-hmm. But man, I was kind of hyped for Damian Williams going from the Chiefs to the Bears and kind of backing up Monty there. But I kind of soured on Damian Williams. So Ty, I mean, I think come week 1 he'll be like the short yardage guy / goal line guy that Patterson probably isn't. And here's his ticket to being on the field more, to more playing time. Is that one of his strengths coming out of college was he was a great pass blocker, which obviously from college to NFL is a pretty big obstacle to overcome. But and there's also the whole Tim Soul thing, the best shape of his life chatter out of Falcons camp, whatever. I'm not really interested in that. But
who's getting that chatter? Algier or
yeah. Oh. Usually
that shape of his life, he's a rookie.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what? But
that's
for real. I saw it on multiple sites. I was like, what the hell? Was he a big fatso in college?
It just hits that nail on the head. That
he's like 5'11", 220.
Yeah, it's that
what the
season.
Hell?
It's best shape of your life season.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's in the best shape of their life, except for Leonard Fournette, who's in the worst shape of his life.
No, dude, he lost like 10 pounds in 3 days, I swear. Judging by what I read. I'm kidding.
Anyways, so Tyler Algiers, I mean, like the end of the 12th. I mean, I'm guessing that this has got to be going up, man. I don't believe in Cordero Patterson as the primary back in Atlanta. I don't even know if they really want him to be. I think that they spent, I think it was a 4th rounder in Algiers.
Nowadays that's a reasonable investment. Meaning,
especially for a guy that maybe is more of a role player than an every down back, which he could be. He was never really asked to catch that much in college, but it doesn't mean that he can't. That sort of thing. Who knows? I mean, I like my last guy the most, and it's not just because
I was going to say I'm not ready to bury Damian Williams.
I am.
I'm not necessarily ready to draft him either. I'm just saying I'm not ready to bury him in terms of something in the way of Algier or Patterson. Same goes for Patterson. But
are you saying Powderson?
Patterson, no Patterson.
Powderson?
Shut up. But the but I'm rooting for Algier. Yeah, I hope he gets it. I hope he gets the second or lead role, but he's got a little bit in his way for sure. My next guy, I will see you
before you go there. I think Algiers is one of those guys that I think come draft season, like a few weeks from now, that he's probably not going to rise too much, but I think he's definitely one of those guys that if you drafted him after week 1, he could be one of those steals. If he doesn't pan out in week 1, I'm probably going to hang on to him for a couple weeks. So he's not getting good playing time. Cut him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should at this point. 13th round.
End of the 12th.
Okay.
Very end of the 12th.
Yeah. So last dart throw before kicker and defense or something like that is a way to look at that practically. Okay.
Oh no, that's my next guy.
Next guy I'll see your D Williams and raise you a D Williams. I kind of cheated and went 3 guys in 1 here, spreading a wide net, trying to take advantage of a situation. Again, reminding all my choices tonight are based on situation and something happening in front of them for some reason or the other. We've got Eno Benjamin, Daryl Williams, and Kante Ingram.
See what we are sort of sharing one, and I have a hard stance on this. Go ahead.
To get this out of the way, I kind of tacked on Kante at the end there. You know me, I love my rookie running backs, but I don't have a ton on him. Let me continue and get this out of the way here. Real quick, ADP for Daryl Williams is 160. That's the 13.3 pick. RB 57.
I have 1404.
I think
one of us did our math wrong.
Ingram's the next at the 19.8. So now we're talking free, undrafted. RB 73 and Eno Benjamin, even more so, 26th round and RB93. So, and Benjamin has been getting some positive press here. I'm not trying to base too much on any fluff pieces or anything like that.
Yeah,
here.
I heard that last year too.
But I'm expecting a strong statistical regression from James Conner after his best season ever. And again, address the elephant in the room. He hasn't been the bastion of health. Although
he's not that fat, Chris. Jesus.
Not saying that. Although I did go back and look at his games played and whatnot, and it's not as bad as I thought. Although there was only 6 games in 2020, I think, maybe 20.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Anyway, other than that, it was only 2 or 3 games. It felt like only 2 or 3 games each season, but he must have been pulled from multiple games. You know what I mean? Especially when you're fantasy manager, it's just the dagger, man. So anyway, Connor's 27. Thought I had something about his contract. I guess I don't. I think they can get out of it after next year. Let's move on from that. Going back to Kante Ingram, highlight of him here is he had 89 career catches in college. That's a butt ton, dude, for a running back in college. Reminder, that was Texas and finished up with USC. Daryl Williams had a career year last year with 144 carries, 6 touchdowns, and 57 targets. I think Williams was a sneaky good signing for a team with big aspirations, quite a lot of pressure on the diva starting quarterback and the genius offensive-minded head coach in Arizona. Okay. There's been quite a lot of Benjamin hype coming out of camp the last couple of days. He could be more of a Chase Edmonds type that they want to complement Conner, and then potentially the pendulum could swing back towards kind of that. I don't know if they were ever 50-50 per se, but a very close share running back by committee, if you will, just to save Conner for the playoffs, because I think he's proven some clutchness. He's proven some nose for the red zone, end zone. So I think Conner could absolutely have a role. I just think they need somebody to spell him, and I think they want somebody to help out.
Who do you think it is?
If you have a healthy Conner, I think Benjamin is the complement to a healthy Conner. But I think Daryl Williams has shown us in the past on, again, a higher volume offense that he can kind of do it all, man. He's good on the goal line, and he can catch the ball well enough to produce for you in a fantasy spectrum there.
Okay. So here's where we overlap, Chris. Daryl Williams or D. Willie. D. Willie. How good was D. Willie last year, Chris? He was the RB22. How is the RB22 from last year going as the RB57 this year? How? How, Chris? Here's the thing. So the Cardinals got rid of Chase Edmonds, which is fine. They didn't want to pay him what he wanted. He went to Miami for whatever reason. I think he went to Miami, then a bunch of other backs signed, and he's like, "What the hell, Miami?" Anyways, D. Willie, he went to the Cardinals, and I love this landing spot. Because I have D. Willie on my dynasty team. Also, I have James Conner, so I'm pretty happy about this. The Chase Edmonds, as we all kind of know, is that he has some electricity on the ground, but he was more of a pass catching guy. Unfortunately, to say that, but that's really true if you look at his usage in Arizona. Actually, not the last year, but the previous 2 years. That was kind of Chase Edmonds' role for the Cardinals, and he did get some work on the ground. He was okay with it, but not that great. But Daryl Williams, he was the 9th best running back as far as his pass catch rating at 82.5%. Ninth best. What?
Nice. 57 targets. He must have caught a butt ton of those balls. Then that was the 9th best running back. That was a 12th best overall out of all pass catchers in the NFL. This is per teamrankings.com. Chris, do you know who the number 1 guy was in pass catch rate? Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. At the position, at running back?
In general.
Oh, jeez. I don't know.
He's with the Arizona Cardinals.
Edmonds?
It is James Conner.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he was. He was.
Do you know who the best wide receiver was? Also with the Cardinals? Your boy, Rondale Robbins. What's his last name?
Rondale Moore.
Rondale Moore. Best wide receiver, best catch rate. I don't know. They didn't specify what catch rate is, but usually
obviously
usually catch rate is like percentage of balls caught that were catchable balls
thrown at you.
Yeah, not targets, but like catchable balls.
Obviously he has a small sample size, so that percentage is.
Anyways, so I'm looking at Daryl Williams. I hate to be like, well, Chase Edmonds out and Daryl Williams is in, but Daryl Williams reminds me a lot of Chase Edmonds, man. And
he's a bigger back though, so more thump to his game, but. He can catch.
Yeah.
He can catch, absolutely.
I mean, dude, I have him down as going as the 1404. Maybe you did your math wrong. Maybe I did. I'm not going to sit here and redo the math here on air, but we'll just say that you're right. Just whatever. I don't give a crap. So in 2021, Daryl Williams had 7 games with 12 or more touches, and only 2 of those games did he score less than 12 fantasy points. In 3 of those games, though, he scored more than 20 fantasy points. What did Chase Edmonds do, who I am comping as far as, skill set and everything in this one? Chase Edmonds also had 7 games with 12 or more touches. And every single one of those games, he had more than 10. He had at least 10 fantasy points, but he only had 1 game with more than 20 fantasy points. Was D. Willie a little inconsistent? Sure. But for a guy that's going in, we'll say the 13th or 14th, holy Moses, man, do we really need to start thinking about him? I'm not worried about Benjamin. I think Benjamin is a 7th round pick that's there for depth. I could care less about him. Mm-hmm. Maybe your boy Kante Parker. I'm having problems with those names today, Chris. What's his last name?
Kante Ingram.
Ingram, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Perhaps he's the guy, but I mean, they didn't exactly give Daryl Williams nothing.
That's why I included all 3 of them. I think it's a backfield. I don't mean to be Mr. Connor negativity, but that's why I included all 3. It's a backfield situation to keep an eye on. Even with a healthy Connor, I think he gets spelled. I think he.
Oh wow, Daryl Williams has a next to nothing contract. So I mean,
yeah,
all these guys behind James Conner are completely expendable, though. That's the thing. Like as far as draft capital or
for sure
contract.
Well, Ingram, they'll keep him because he's brand new and free, cheap, should I say? Rookie contract, running back.
They're all cheap. Daryl Williams, $1.19 million. That's his contract.
I like what Ingram can do through the air. That's kind of that's how I see Ingram and Benjamin related, is pass catching. But anyway, we don't want to spend too much more time on the Arizona backfield. I'm up next, right? Yes.
Yeah, but I think that's worth mentioning. Dude, the more I looked at Daryl Williams, and
I love that we overlapped on Daryl Williams. He's the one I really focused on when I picked this group, but I couldn't help but ignore some of the hype about Benjamin.
But there was hype about him last year too.
I understand that. You can say that about multiple players. But Daryl Williams can kind of do it all. So that's why he's the top of that.
I'm sorry, who? Are you talking about D. Willie?
No, I definitely am not. So on to my next guy. Chris, I'm not Captain America Evans. We've got an ADP of 252 overall, so that's the 21st round. The 21.0?
Don't even draft that many players, Chris.
RB 78. But I just want to emphasize I did my math right on the Arizona Cardinals guys. So anyway,
we called you the winner because I don't care.
For context, Samaje Perine ADP is they're very near each other. In fact, they're right next to each other. RB 77, RB 78. Evans has some size. That's important to mention. I'll get to that in a moment. He's 5'11", 216. That's going to help him with durability and pass blocking, both of which will keep him on the field more if he were to wrestle away the number 2 job from Samaje Perine, who has been very underwhelming. This is a highlight I loved about him. Kind of a theme, I guess, throughout the night. PFF ranked him with an 84.3 receiving grade. It's important to mention sample size. I think we mentioned I mentioned it about a player of yours where it was like he barely got any. So, but when he did, he caught the ball very well, and that's the way they've been using him in Cincy. Joe Mixon, while only 26, has been dinged up. I think as a fantasy manager, we can all kind of agree on that. But again, I look back at his games played, and it's like, I mean, how critical are we? I guess it really hurts because it feels like it's always at the end of the year because that's how injuries pile up. And it's a very important position that's very shallow. Anyway, Mixon has been dinged up, as I mentioned. He missed a ton of time in 2020, but generally he played most games. He has only been serviceable as a pass catcher, Mixon that is. Only serviceable as a pass catcher. He's not been that impressive in my mind. I don't think they necessarily will see him in that role. Like the Steelers use their running backs, 80% or whatever. Or I think they want to keep him a little more fresh, and I think by spelling him in the pass game, Evans could sneak in there over a P. Ryan. And then of course the Mixon injury, again a theme of the night. High-powered offense. Okay, maybe not the Saints. That's fair. But high-powered offense. Love the Bengals offense for a running back. Where was I?
To fill the void here, I used to like Chris Evans. The more I look into him, the more he's just kind of a guy. And same with Samaje Perine. They're kind of more or less the same person. They're both just guys. They're depth pieces. None of them are really they're not there to try and usurp Joe Mixon as the number one back there, but they're not even close. That's the thing. And according to RotoWire, I saw earlier while looking for some news is that Chris Evans is still behind Samaje Perine in the pecking order.
That's why I mentioned what I mentioned. He's got to pass him.
Yeah,
I
just wanted to reiterate that I'm not anti Chris Evans. Let's get this straight. I'm not trying to ride the fence here, but just I mean, if I had to choose, we've all seen what Samaje Perine is. He's literally just a guy. He's a guy with a unique name. That's all he is. And Chris Evans is a guy with a very common name who is probably a little bit better than Samaje
I think
Perine.
Evans is a little more than just a guy. I think if that were the case, they would have addressed position in the draft, which they didn't. Same with free agency.
They did. They had more pressing needs, especially on defense.
Yeah, and apparently they didn't have a full complement of picks. Oh, okay, just a sixth. No, they were just missing a sixth round.
Okay.
Technically, I was correct. That's not a full complement of picks, but I wanted to point that out. There you have it, sir. That's my 3 diamonds in the rough for the night. You got one more for us?
No, because my last one was Daryl Williams.
Because you started. I knew that because you started. So, while you were talking, I was trying to pull up a mock draft. If you think we've got time,
let's officially end the show as far as the recording, but we can keep the stream going. As far as as far as the mock draft. So we've.
I just glared at you.
What?
I don't know why it was so funny to me. I'm hovering over the button to stop recording. I was like, this makes too much sense. I don't like it. And I glared at you. And I looked at myself looking at you. I was like, this is weird. So no, it'll make more sense for the editing. Please go ahead.
For the recording, we have been Amazing Fantasy Football. I am Josh. You can follow me on Twitter at JoshAFFB. You can follow Chris at...
I don't remember.
AFFB Chris. Jeepers Creepers, man.
At AFFB Chris.
Yes.
I need to rehearse.
So we've been Amazing Fantasy Football. Stay tuned. Next week we'll have wide receiver Diamonds in the Rough. And until then, have a good night, everyone. Stay tuned for the live on the live stream for the mock draft. What kind of mock draft you want to do?
We did Superflex last week because we were on quarterbacks, right?
I say we just do a non-PPR mock draft. A regular, boring mock draft.
Can you refresh my memory of why we didn't do Sleeper? Because there was no mock drafts going on? Is that why?
Well, it was convoluted.
I just... all I see is one going on.
Yeah.
Still. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, we couldn't join the same one. That's what it was.
Oh, okay. So, I was back around.
We're going to work on this weekend and figure something out.
It's football calculator, right? Yeah. Yep, getting there. Give me a second. Mock draft lobby.
311, right? Okay.
Oh, well, no, I haven't gotten there yet.
How does that sound? A non-PPR? Do we just want to do a half PPR?
No, not a non-PPR.
Let's do a half PPR because I will never actively be in a non PPR league ever again.
Exactly. 12 teams.
12 team.
12 team half PPR.
What about this one? Down the ways. That's 3 minutes out. It ends in 8286.
Okay, got it.
I'll take the one position.
I'll take the middle 6. I couldn't decide. I almost was like, I'll draft against you. Like, go take the turn. Wait, that's not. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's make sure we're on the right scene, Chris. For goodness sakes. Display 1. Nope.
Okay, it's not cooperating.
Oh no. Is it doing that thing it did to you last time?
Yeah, it says draft starts in 59 minutes and 50 seconds.
Can you refresh the web page and see what happens?
I've got that already.
Minute 04, minute 02. All right, can I leave?
Why is this doing this to me?
Can I leave?
Oh, this one has a lot of people in it. Let's go to the 8276 one.
Okay.
And I'll still take the one.
Do you just go back to the lobby to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I didn't see an exit.
It's doing the same thing. What the?
What is that it's doing?
The exact same thing it was doing before. It just shows that everyone's a computer.
So what's your crazy internet? 8280 what?
8276.
Don't see it. Half point. 12 team. 8286?
8276.
Yeah, I don't see it.
It's right there on top.
Nope, I don't see it. Maybe that's why it shows all robots.
Okay. That's the one that we're in. What the?
Sorry, I had to move some stuff around. My display always changes. Like, what's display 1? 8290?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm ready to do that. Did you already pick a spot?
I have one.
Okay.
It's doing the same thing. Dude, I don't know what's going on with this website tonight. It's not working.
I see all computer right. Okay. No, I see you at 1. You're not in there? You don't see me at 6?
No.
Or team 3?
No.
Dang it.
I don't know why it's not working.
I don't either.
How long until the draft starts?
At less than a minute, 58 seconds.
All right, well, let's just see if it start like when the
If
draft
it
starts.
refreshes.
It actually.
Otherwise, you can keep up with mine, I suppose.
I was gonna say we could just end the stream and I could start editing.
We could do that.
Yeah, I'm refreshing this page like crazy, and it is just not doing anything. That's a real bummer.
Doesn't make any sense to me. I'm getting a clear shot here.
Yeah, I see it.
I'm at 175% zoomed in a little. You can read it. Okay, that's good. A little more.
How much time?
16. Oh yeah, you're the 101 too. 12 seconds.
Yeah, I was trying to, just
Queue up some guys.
I'm not even gonna bother doing that if I can't draft.
There's a handful of good share of computer folks in here. Jonathan Taylor, so you got him. Probably would have taken anyway. Team 3 is only waiting a second. Henry, Cup, Eckler. I am up at 6. I'm strongly considering a running back.
All right, well,
What would you do? Najee or Cook or Mixon?
Cook every day of the week.
There we go.
Not even remotely close.
So did last time you miss the whole draft? Or did you jump in eventually? I thought.
No, last time I got through a draft, you're the one that missed half the draft because you auto-picked
No, I meant
Yeah.
like when you had issues at the beginning of said draft. Was it? So you didn't pick Taylor. It auto picked like you're not in there.
Yeah. It's.
I thought when this happened last time that it ended up fixing itself. Eventually, after you auto.
We haven't had this problem before.
Oh, okay.
That's why I'm very confused why you keep saying last time. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Anyway, we can call it a night.
Yes, let's. I have to edit and go to work tomorrow. I was down with whoa.
With whoa?
To infinity and beyond. There it is. Anyway, so I guess that's the stream. Sorry that Fantasy
Things
Football
didn't work
Calculator was being a poop head. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We've been actually getting a lot more views in the on demand than actual stream, but that's okay.
That's cool.
Thanks for checking us out, everyone, and please don't leave us links to porn sites in the comments.
Didn't realize that was happening. Okay.
It's a real thing. Someone did that last week.
Yeah, there's also the not Instagram, MessageGram. I can't remember what it is. There's some app that they trying to get you to click on or something. They play like they're the channel themselves. And
Oh no, this is I'll look
Telegram.
at it right now.
Telegram. It's called Telegram.
From Vadim Rezano 6 days ago. Trending adult porn videos only, and then it's in German.
The other big thing on YouTube in the comments has been this Telegram scam. Like they appear just like the owner of the channel. And they say, "Hey, Telegram," and it's like it's BS. Anyway, good night, everybody. Sorry the mock draft didn't work out. We'll work on it during the week and try to get up and running.
Fantasy Football Calculator will work on it during the week because that's not our fault.
We'll see, or we'll try something different. Is what I'm getting at if we have to. Until then, adios.
Bye, everybody.